opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or messages posted in chat are strictly their own personal views and do not reflect the views of Bolin Services, Inc., a 501c3 nonprofit organization, nor does it reflect the views of the sponsors of this program. Political commentary, if any, are strictly personal opinions and should not be construed as endorsements of or opposition to any political party, candidate, or voter initiative by Bolin Services, Inc. This audio-visual presentation is copyrighted by Kenneth W. Bolin. No rebroadcast, retransmission, simulcast, or other distribution of this video or the audio associated with it is permitted without the express written permission of Kenneth W. Bolin. All original content on this presentation is owned in full and solely by Kenneth W. Bolin.
Warning, the following podcast has extremely high levels of Kenny Bolin. Studies have shown that excessive exposure to Kenny Bolin may have damaging effects to your physical and mental well-being. Viewer discretion is advised. No, seriously, we mean it. There will be naughty words, lots of them, probably. Now you've been warned. This warning sponsored by the Story Time with Dutch Mantel.
All right, you see him right now. Beautiful body. And Mr. Cornette is back again.
David, we have some great viewers all over the country. We have some faithful viewers. Kenny and Gabrielle Bolin celebrating the birth of their new son, Christopher Michael James Bolin. Hello to them out there.
Wait a minute, what did you say? Look at that. These people look up to me. These people respect me so much now they're naming their little rugrats after me. Can you believe that? Kid will probably grow up to be a juvenile delinquent, just like his parents. But let me tell you something. You know, David, something struck me as I was coming out the corner just a few minutes ago around that curtain.
And here we go.
That's right. Bolin. And I don't mean bowling. Bolin, you gotta get me on your show, man. Love you so much, brother. I tell these guys, man, bowling was when it all started. That's right, man. But you wouldn't let me be a part of this. What was it? Bolin Services. Why did you never get me into bowling services? Well, we'll discuss that on your next show.
Previously on the Bowling Alley.
It is. And I do want to get back to that 1 second, King.
Yeah.
Appreciate the manager questions and keeping it light in wrestling.
Right.
But what I don't like and I will not sell for, and what I think Disco Inferno had a great point on keeping it 100, there needs to be a line in the sand. The peanut gallery does not get to dictate the conversation. They do not get to say, oh, you were making money off of Cornette's thing. That's the only reason you went in on. Yeah, guess what? We're independent media journalists, broadcasters within 1 degree of separation who have the real information, but you're still going to wait and go to PW Insider, to Mike Johnson and whatever. You just want to come strapped to take shots at King B. You're never going to cancel us. We own our own shit. We're the bosses. So sit where you need to sit. Be a fan. Ask an educated question.
Yeah.
You don't ever think for a minute you can pull a power play on somebody like a Disco, a Russo, a Bolin, a Hameen, because I'm just going to slap your tits and charge you $5 at the end of the day. And you're going to want to step up to get your little shine, but I will tongue lash you and cut you down and show your ignorance to the world if you try and come over on us. So stop that shit trying to intimidate Kenny, telling him what he can and can't talk about, what any podcaster who is having an open conversation about this shit can. Because if you really want to have an opinion, go spend the $110 on Podbean, get off your ass and start your own thing. Otherwise, sit there and be a subscriber and a listener. You do not have the power here, and you never will.
Welcome, wrestling fans, to WOW, World Organization Wrestling. My name's Ken Bolin, and I'm here with the Dean of Promoters, Nick Goulis, and his son, George Goulis. Nick, I'm sure the fans would like to know, you've been in semi-retirement now for the last 5 years. I'm sure they'd like to know what you've been doing and what you got planned for the future.
Well, I've been doing a lot of different things, Ken. I've been going here and there, watching matches in different cities. And in the last 6 to 8 months, I've been trying to get myself back to doing wrestling again. I've been asked by many, many people, when am I coming back to promoting wrestling? So after 45 years, it's hard to get out and quit. So I decided to come back, and I'm starting back wrestling right in this area real soon. and I'm glad to be on this station.
Well, you've brought a lot of talent from the old days that are real successful into business now, and I understand you plan on bringing a lot of new talent in. One of those talents you've got sitting there, your son George, right there. George, what have you been doing?
Well, Ken, I've been wrestling 3 or 4 or 5 times a month, but now I'll be wrestling 3 or 4 times a week because my father's going back into wrestling. I referee high school basketball. Besides that, I play basketball 3 times a week. And, you know, not being my father, Nick Goulas, I like to mention on the other side of the ledger that Nick Goulas' name to pro wrestling has been around for a lot of years. It's like Babe Ruth is to baseball, Larry Bird is to basketball, and Bear Bryant is the football. And when you mention pro wrestling in this area, you think of Nick Goulas. And that's why I'm glad he's coming back. I'm glad to wrestle again full-time for him. And the talent he's been in contact with throughout the country the past several months, you're going to be surprised at the talent he's going to bring in here, because he's talked to the best, and that's what he wants to bring in, the best, for WOW, World Organization Wrestling.
Nick, how long do you plan to stay in the area this time?
I'm going to stay indefinitely, Ken. As long as God lets me stay and live, I'm going to be here. And I hope to, you know, and like I said, I've started some of the greatest in the world in wrestling. Today, all over the country, wrestlers know Nick Goulas started a lot of them, and some of the biggest names, and we intend to start some more big names in wrestling. I'm not going to stop now at my age, regardless of that. But regardless of what goes on in wrestling, Nick Goulas will be, I hope, for some time to come.
George, do you plan on doing a single wrestling tag team? Where do you seem to be looking towards now?
Probably single. In the past, I like to wrestle tag, but you know what they was saying, if you wrestle a tag match, you get beat, you always blame your opponent for losing.
Right.
So if I'm going to get beat, I'd rather get beat and say I got beat myself. But I'll probably wrestle both, single and tag matches. And of course, when you wrestle either one, you're in there in a tough time in that squared circle. It's not an easy task to go in there and wrestle. No matter who you wrestle, you can't cut anybody short, because they're in there to beat you too. And that's why I work out constantly and stay in good shape, because one thing about pro wrestling, you can't just sit there and say, I'm going to win. You got to win in the ring.
Thank you, and we will be back next time on WOW, WOW, World Organization Wrestling.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. A big old highlight reel package of some videos from the past. And there's a reason I played that last video last. We played the Boogeyman video. We played Ben Hameen, which was from a few years ago. Boogeyman was, I think, right as COVID was kind of out in the middle of things. And there's a reason I played that last video. Reflect back in your minds to the memory of seeing that video just seconds ago. And did you notice the hair? Did you take a good look at the hair? Not on Nick Goulas. That was the same hair he had his entire career. Not on George Goulas, which apparently is quite different these days from what I've heard. But on the King. On the Starmaker. I wasn't yet on that show, I wasn't the King. On that show, I wasn't even the Starmaker. We hadn't come up with that yet. I was just Ken Bolin. Ken, which I think that's the only show I ever did that with. The only show that I ever went. I don't know. Maybe he suggested it. I've never gone by Ken a day in my life. It was suggested to me that in the first grade, that when we were introducing ourselves in the first grade, and your name is, and at that time it was Kenny Risen. And I said, Kenny Risen. She said, well, you won't go by that name long. By the time you hit high school, you will go by Ken. And I said, really? All right. Well, that never happened. Never went by Kenneth or Kenneth Wayne or any of that stuff. And that just never happened. And I was glad it didn't, because eventually I started dating a girl named Barbie. God, what year was that? She worked for Dairy Queen. I was, I think, 19, 20. And she was maybe 20, 21. I don't know. And she was 19. So I must have been 21. And everywhere we went, we were known as Ken and Barbie. And I was glad that my name was not Ken at that time. We are members only, so the chat will be somewhat limited unless you have $3. Then you can join the chat. And if you can't, sit there and suck your thumb. I do not care. Facebook will be with us for a short period of time. Hello, Jambi. Hello, Eunice. Some of the causes that we're trying to raise money for tonight. Eunice's mother, and I just found this out today. They didn't tell me because they didn't want to be any more of a burden to me in our show. Well, this is something that we probably needed to know. Eunice's mother, unfortunately, apparently a few days ago, had a stroke. And they said she's having a very difficult time, that about half her body has shut down. She needs medication. And I got a notification from them today that they could desperately use right about $30 to get her about a 4-day supply of medication that she needs. And her tablet got damaged, and I think the repairman wants 900 pesos to get that. So we're looking at a grand total of about $45 or $50 to put them in a much better situation. For anybody out there that's in a position to help with that, let us know. Thank you, Randy Macho Man. You're a good dude, and I appreciate you. We now have a donation button for those that want to donate on the corporate account. The only negative thing about the corporate account and that QR code you see up there on the screen, the only negative thing about that is that they do still, even though that we are a 501c3, that is a 501c3 PayPal account, which is linked to a 501c3 designated bank account, which we just got done the other day. Yesterday, as a matter of fact, PayPal helped me get all that done. So that is a way for those of you that prefer to donate by the click of a button or to use the QR code, which only a very few handful of people have used that QR code yet, but it's up there. If you want to be able to donate to where we get every penny of it to help the folks, Kenny Bolin at MSN.com, foodforfilipinos@gmail.com. And for those of you that donate on Venmo, you see it there, Kenny-Bolin-1, and Cash App is $Starmaker Bolin. Those ways, as long as you donate as a friend or family on not on Facebook, on PayPal, they get every penny of it. Like I said, the only negative thing about the corporate account is that there is a fee taken out. Not as big of a fee as it is for goods and services on a standard PayPal account. We do get a break, but still there are fees taken out, and we would rather the families get every penny of it as opposed to nothing. I'm sure that Jambi could use some help with rice for her dogs. I don't know that we can continue to buy dog food. If you can't afford to keep your dogs, we're going to have to encourage you not to get them. I have 2. I'd love to have 20 dogs. I can't afford 20 dogs. I can't afford the medical bills of 20 dogs. I can barely afford the bills of two dogs or 3 dogs. And I miss my Choco every day. I'd rather be spending that extra money and having her with me, and we're still paying on her medical bills. Randy Macho Man Satterley was a very big help to me in that. I owe him some pictures because of it, but Randy Macho Man, in all transparency, helped us out with damn near half of those expenses. Just to be transparent about it, I owe him some pictures the next time he's down this way for doing that for us. And if he wants to cover the other half, we'll find him some more pictures. As a matter of fact, we because of a guy named Billy, who I noticed you haven't seen lately, because he can be back in good standings here. All he's got to do is honor what he said he would do nearly 3 months ago and honor his $240 pledge that he made, and he'll be back in good standings. But if he wants not to do that and prefer to help the 93 men who have women accounts on his Facebook account, he's welcome to do that too. And Karen McDonald, if you're watching, who has not figured out the time difference between San Diego and Louisville, even though you claim you've been my biggest fan and you watch almost every show, you're full of dog shit. Any moron would know the difference of the time zone between San Diego and Louisville. Oh, King, I thought it was like Texas. Yeah, no, it's not. Learn your goddamn time zones. He also is not in good standing over a bet that he made. He says he's going to make it next week. Karen McDonald will be in good standings if he honors his bet. Now, he calls it a donation. I do not. He lost a bet. Now, I will use the money to help folks, but that's not what it is. He lost a bet and he needs to pay it. So if indeed he paid, I gave him 24 hours. Well, King, I'm going to get you taken care of on that next week. All right, we'll see what good your word's worth. We'll find out. So if you're good on your word, you'll be back in good standings, and you can be a part of the show, and you can watch the show and all that good stuff. So far, the only one offering to help with the expenses so far is Randy the Macho Man Satterley. I've only heard my phone ping once, So I would assume that was him. Let's see. Thank you, Vanessa, for dropping in. I know Bob has done everything that he can to help you with your situation, but there's only so many dollars to go around. I assume that Bob and the Coltrane are busy tonight, so we'll handle this ourselves. We can talk a little bit about anybody that wants to talk about the Trumpstein Files. And apparently a boatload more pictures came out today. Trump claimed he had never drawn any pictures. I'm not a drawer. I never did. They found a shitload of pictures that he drew with a Sharpie and donated them to feed the hungry of New York, so he wouldn't have to pull any cash out of his pocket. It's like me handing out boss cards. Here, see if you can auction this off and feed the hungry. My signature's on the back of it, auto-penned, I guess. So that's exactly what that would be like. He claimed it only took him 2 or 3 minutes to draw these pictures. So he spent 3 minutes, handed out some fucking Sharpie pictures and a shitload of them from what I saw on television today, even though he has put out a statement that that he doesn't draw pictures. Not only does he draw pictures, every fucking one of them were drawn with a fat Sharpie. What else would a fat guy use? I would know. Trump also told a story about how his uncle, who was a professor at MIT, he didn't have any of the degrees that he claimed he had. He claimed he had these 3 degrees. People looked into it. He had none of them. He was a professor at MIT, but he did not teach Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. He was not his professor. And there's a reason why. The Unabomber was not even thought of till 10 years after Trump had died. Dr. Trump, whatever his fucking name was. After Trump had died, like in 1985. The Unabomber didn't even come along until 10 years after that. I've seen Trump tell this story 3 or 4 times. Nobody in his inner circle is going, sir, that never happened. Please quit telling that story, you babbling fucking idiot. And now they're talking about these problems he's got with his swollen ankles, swollen legs. That's a 65-year-old hand. I hope my hand don't look like his at 75, for those of you that have seen the close-ups of it. He's not looking good. Never has. He hasn't looked good in a long time. No, I don't wish him dead because I got swollen ankles and swollen legs, but I've been dealing with mine for quite some time. I take medication for it, but it does put you at risk of blood clots. That's why I take blood thinners, and it does put you at a higher risk of strokes and heart attacks. Now, unfortunately, here I am. Well, fortunately for me, at age 65, to my knowledge, I've never had to deal with that. And if I had a stroke, I'm still getting by. But for Eunice's mother, she's in her 30s, I think, and just had a stroke. And one that fucked her up pretty good. They said that she can't use half of her body. Her speech is not very good. But they can really use some help with their medications and the repair of the tablet so she can do her work. The doctors apparently seem to be of the opinion that with medication and therapy that maybe in a few weeks they can get her back to normal. Jerry Lawler's gone through this a few times. He's had a few strokes and he's back to functional. He can sign his autograph, but he can't draw pictures anymore. Basically, she needs to be able to communicate on the phone and be able to type on a tablet. And we did buy her a keyboard a couple of weeks ago. So of all the timing to have that happen, her life was going good. Her pay increase had happened. We got her a better job. She paid her rent up for 3 months. She paid her internet up for 3 months. And then a few days later, she has a stroke. So for those of you that have any compassion and give a shit about anybody, we're trying to help her, which Randy says he's going to cover the medication. We still need to get the tablet repairs covered, which is about another $20, $25. Randy Macho Man says he's going to cover the medication. We need help. We need help for Chenny's family. I had not heard from Chenny probably in about a year. She also has Dutch Mantel, Jerry Lawler, JBL's birthday. She shares a birthday with Eunice and Ruby May. They're all 3 born November the 29th. Scooby born November 11th, by the way, for those who care. We're not trying to raise money for Scooby, though. So Chenny, finally, she said, we're just desperate. I didn't want to burden you with our problems because I know you help so many people. I said, well, yeah, but we kind of have a list, and you're 22 and in school. She said, well, I had to drop out of school because I couldn't afford to keep going. And she said, plus I have severe asthma and I can't afford my medication. I've got a sister that helps a little bit. I got an aunt that helps a little bit, but it's very little. And she said, I'm not asking you for help. She said, I'm just making you aware of my situation. And to let you know that we really appreciate everything you did for us in the past when you got us cooking utensils, rice, paid their electric bill, got them crock pots, stew cookers, things like that to make their life a little, because they had nothing. They had nothing. We didn't buy them any televisions. We didn't do anything like that. Just got them the basic needs and paid their electric bill and water bill. But her electric bill, listen to this shit. They cut their electric off over 900 pesos, which is about $18. They cut their water off over 700 pesos, which is about $14. They need a sack of rice, which is about 1,500 pesos. And she desperately needs a nebulizer. A nebulizer is about 1,000 pesos. And then the medication that goes with it is about another 500 pesos. So let's say $30 for the nebulizer and the medication to go with it to help her breathe. That's a nice little function in life if you can breathe. That's to help her be able to breathe. About another $30 for rice. And then about another $40 to get their water and electric turned back on. So 40, 80, it's about $100. But if three of us kick in $33, we can get them taken care of. And I'm in, I'll do it. Bob's not here. And Bob has been helping a couple of families out too. So we're not trying to shit on Bob or anything. But I guess Bob and Coltrane are busy tonight. If they were going to be here, they'd have been here by now. I know a lot of you are pissed at me because we're going members only. Well, you're going to have to stay pissed because that's how a lot of these shows are going to be. If this show ain't worth $3, don't watch it. Watch somebody else. There's a lot of people out there that love views and clicks and they want to brag about how many subscribers they got and they don't do jack shit for anybody. That is not what this show is. This show was developed 14 years ago to help people. And I've been doing it for those 14 years. And whatever powers that be that will let me live another 10 or 14 years and be able to speak and be able to communicate, which could go away tomorrow. It happened to Eunice's mother. It's happened to Jerry Lawler, to where it's very difficult for him to communicate. It's pretty hard when my entire wrestling career is based on what I learned from Jerry Lawler. It's hard for me to sit back and see that. But he is 74. He'll be 75 November 29th. And time and erosion sets in on all of us. None of us are guaranteed tomorrow, regardless of the age we are. Some of the people that watch my show are 50 and over. Some of them are 65 and over, even a little bit older than me. And tomorrow is never guaranteed. So it is Saturday night. There's been a lot of raining, a lot of flooding. I thought with all the rain, thunderstorms, and everything going on, that we might have more people watching the show. And we've got one donation. We have a $45 donation from Randy, the Macho Man Satterley. I think. Yeah, he donated over on Venmo. And guys, that is it. The only one we got. Well, that didn't go the way I thought it would. Because I thought some people would give a shit. But yeah, he issued a $45 challenge. I saw Sakia. It says, here's your taco money. Sakia is talking about coming back doing a show with us soon. We hope she does that. Oh, boy. Guys, I guess we're going to go away pretty quick tonight. I started the show at 9:35. I did roll 3, 6, 7, about 8 minutes worth of video. So we'll say 9:45. So I'll be here 15 more minutes and see what we can do. We need to make $80 for me to go the full length tonight. And that will get us close to taking care of the people that are needing help. Obviously, Cheney's family's needing close to 100. In all transparency, I've already sent them 30 of it so they could get some food in the house. But I couldn't afford to do the whole 100. So, but if any of our regulars are watching, no good. Oh, Karen McDonald's watching, just ain't donating. Go figure. Let's see here. Let's see. TC from the NC. TC from the NC, if you're watching, We need every little bit of help we can get tonight. Eunice says thank you to anybody that will help her mother. Well, so far that's one person. Not Karen McDonald, though. Do. Lots of people watching. One person donating. All righty. Honey Rose is watching the show. And, well, guys, we're probably going to lose some more viewers here because it's time for me to say goodbye to Facebook because we know nobody donates over there. So let me get rid of Facebook. Facebook, if you want to watch the show, get a YouTube membership. Come on over and watch us on YouTube. If not, well, you made your choice. So Facebook, thanks to Filipinos for dropping in and saying hi. And until next time, Facebook, we did say good day. All right. I think I actually removed that whole show. All right. Didn't mean to do that. Oh, well. It's not like we make that much money on Facebook anyway. Yeah, Jerry Lawler will be 76 on November 29th. Dutch Mantel, God, how old is he? I guess he will be 76 on November 29th. I think he's about the same age as Jerry. JBL, John Bradshaw Layfield, will be 50-something November 29th. Chenny, our sweet little friend, needing all that help, will be David, here's what I heard you got to do, David. I hear you have, number one, you don't write me on Facebook or anything, so I don't have any way to send you the links. Most of the real true fans of the show follow me on Facebook Messenger, or I have their cell phone numbers or their Twitter accounts, and then I forward them the link to the show. I'm a little guilty about not doing that much on Twitter, but if I have your cell phone number and if I have you on Facebook Messenger, I send all the regulars a link to the show, those that are kind enough to donate something at least once or twice a month. Let's see. So, yeah, Dutch and Jerry are the same age. They will both be 76. I will be 66 on March the 16th. My son don't like to talk about his age. And, but also March 16th. And our sweet little Choco would have been 13 on March the 16th. So, and I do miss her every day. But so far, we only have one donation, and that's Randy the Macho Man Satterley. He's it. Randy, so much for the challenge, man. I mean, you tried. So we'll be here about 12 more minutes if no one else donates, but I'll do what I said I would do. And, but yeah, Chenny's family is really needing some help. Eunice's family, those are my top two priorities for tonight. And then others, we will try to get some help as we can. I know that Jambi can probably use some help with some rice. But we're not even going to cover the top two priorities of the night from the way it's looking right now. And so if you're watching the show, I know that Edge Copeland is at the Oldham County Fair with his kids tonight. He's normally good for helping us out a little bit. David's welcome to help us out, being as we never see him anymore, but he sees us now. David's welcome to help us out. Yeah, David, being as you're in here a little late, we're trying to help a young lady get a nebulizer and medication so she can breathe, Chenny. She only asked for help once in the last year, and she didn't even ask for help then. She just made us aware of her situation. But her entire situation needs about $100 to get their electric on, their water on, get them a sack of rice, and to get her a nebulizer and some medications, about $100 total. I sent them $30 of my own money last night so that they could at least get some rice in the house. And then I really thought doing a Saturday night special tonight. But yeah, apparently a lot of you pissed over that members only thing. Well, like I said, stay pissed because that's how it's going to be. Just in case we don't get any more donations, and it ain't looking good, we will be back here Tuesday night for a special show with Disco Inferno from over on that other network. Disco Inferno, the title of the show is going to be Ask Disco Anything. And it might just be me and Disco. Bob Hazelwood said he didn't give a shit enough about Disco Inferno to come and do the show. He actually said that. He said it out loud. He said it right here on the show. But if it was Anthony Scaramucci, he would cancel Nerd Night and do the Anthony Scaramucci show. Go figure. I bet Disco Inferno's heard over that. He's probably heard the story by now. And I don't know about the coal train. You never know about the coal train. The train rolls in when the train rolls in. That's what it does. And let's see here. Yeah, I noticed the more I talk about donations, the more of you that go away. So, and then of course we lost a few of the Filipino fans over on Facebook. So, so David, are you going to try to help us out a little bit tonight? It ain't like we've drained your bank account lately. Art Gel is needing a Girl Scout uniform on August 5th. All right, well, good luck on that, the rate things are going. Little Art Gel. And still the only donation of the night is $45 by Randy the Macho Man Satterley. And then, of course, the 30 that I sent the family last night. TC from the NC normally does something, but he might be busy tonight. Jeff Sanford normally does a little something, but I haven't heard from him. I did ask a guy that I haven't heard from in 6 years that tried to ruin a baseball game for me. I said, well, you haven't ripped me in 6 years. Why don't you make a donation and get back in good standing? Oh, I did have a little chat with the broke ass one. I had a little chat with him and Bad Chris and Michael over at that other show. And I told him, I've done my best to try to forgive you guys for all the horrible shit you said about me. I sent the donation link, the donation button, to just about everybody that's in good standing with this show, including those three. And I also sent them the letter of verification that we're a 501c3 and that we are registered with the Kentucky State Treasury Department as a 501c3 not-for-profit under the names of Bolin Services, Inc. And sent them. So all of you that are in good standing with the show, hey, thank you, Dan, man. I appreciate it. Maybe you can save the day and we can go a little overtime here, or maybe somebody will help us save the day. Let's see what Daniel sent. Daniel Lemley, good for a $20 challenge. That gets us to 65. We're trying to get to 80 for me to stay past 10:15, so we're only $15 away from that. Now, that still doesn't cover everything. $80 basically would cover either the rest of Cheney's issues but Randy's is already designated to Eunice's family. So that $45 has to go there for medications for Eunice's mother and to get their tablet fixed. And I'll, if we don't get any more donations, Randy, I will make up the difference on what they need to get their tablet fixed. I got a bonus check coming Tuesday. Hopefully it'll be decent. I never know till that bonus check shows up. And like I said, I spend a fair amount of my own money as well on top of what we make here, because what we make here is never enough. Becky Adcock, who was in here the other day, because people are wondering when I'm going to release the Memphis Files. Trust me, there's a lot of people nervous about that one. Former managers, former wrestlers. Some of them, I guess, are so-called current wrestlers that are awfully worried about those Memphis Files being released. Very much like those Trumpstein Files that have been released. And it would be an interesting list. But see, there's one difference. I wasn't in any of the cars where this activity was going on. I wasn't in any of the hotels where this activity was going on. I never, ever once witnessed any of these activities going on. But many of these Memphis wrestlers have either bragged about participating in it, left messages on my voicemail about things they've done. Did you find employment since we last talked? Well, I hope so, because I've had the same job for 8 years. When's the last time we talked? Now, I was off due to me having sepsis for quite some time. I was off from, August through mid-January. But, I went back to the same company. And so, yeah, we haven't talked in a long time. Apparently 8 years, David. I've had the same job for 8 years. So, and like I said, I was out of work when I had sepsis, a urinary tract infection, and cellulitis all one right after another. So I was out of work from, and they don't pay sick pay, by the way, not that tightwad bastard. I was out of work from August until January, mid-January. But no, same place. I guess you're the one out of work because you haven't donated in a long, long time. So you used to donate pretty good. You was one of our better donors there for a while. Have you found work? So I don't know. But another $15 will get us to 80, and I'll stay a little bit over if we do that. But we got 4 minutes to do it. Chinny says hi and thank you for those that are trying to help her. Chinny is a beautiful young, but it's hard for me to say this. I'm going to post a lot of these young ladies that are in college and high school that we help with their education. I think they're all beautiful. Eunice is a beautiful young lady who's about to turn 19. Chinny is a gorgeous young lady. She's about to turn 22. Ruby May is a beautiful girl about to turn 16. Art Gell's just the cutest little thing in the world, about to turn 11 later this year. Jelly Bean's a beautiful young lady, about 23, 24, something like that. I think they're all beautiful. And sweet people. So Kenny only helps pretty people. Well, the ugly people we line up too, I guess. Can't say I only help young people. Ice Cream Jennifer's in her 40s. We help her. Vanessa's in her 40s. We've helped her a lot. And she's got a couple kids, single. I mean, it's not like we're looking for relationships with these women from 8,400 miles away. They contact us. We find out their situations, and we try to help them. It just so happens I love Asian women. As a rule, regardless, be they Chinese, Korean, Filipino, Indian women. I mean, I like anybody different than me. White women are going, God damn, that's hard. Well, there's pretty white women too. I mean, but I've always liked, even the Iranian girl I went to high school with, I always like people different than me. I mentioned on the last show, I would love it if I could have a little town meeting out on my porch and have everybody in my neighborhood that's from a different country just come and sit and talk about their countries, what it's like there. Why are you here? What do you like about here better than you like about your country? Do you now think about going back to your country because the way shit is here now? And I mean, the name David Martinez. Martinez is not your typical American name. I am half German, half Cherokee. Half of my heritage is from here. The other half certainly is not. I am certainly not all that proud of my German heritage and have denounced a lot of what my biological father was about. Have denounced a lot about what my stepdad was about until he quit drinking. Alcohol was his problem. But David, you're here now. What made you think that I hadn't worked in 8 years? I don't know. I have trouble figuring it out sometimes. So we still just have the 2 donations. Daniel Emily. Dave won't answer me if he's going to help us out tonight for the first time in a long, long time. But David used to be a regular donor. I don't know what happened. I'm talking about you on the show now, Chinny. We're trying to raise money to help your family situation. And there's quite a few of you watching. 2 of you donated. And it ain't none of the Facebook freeloaders. Who are the people in your neighborhood? Oh, is that a classic song? Paul RJ from Australia. David Martinez says he never gets, but what they tell you to do, David, is to unclick the notification bell and then re-click it and then make sure to click all notifications, because a lot of you have it set up to where you don't get all of the notifications. Honey, I'm doing the show right now. Period. If you go to YouTube, you'll see it right now. I guess I need to send her a link to the show. I didn't send her one. Well, no. Sometimes I send the Filipinos a link to the show. Sometimes I don't. Here we go. Let's send Chinny a link to the show. There's one for our gel. Eunice was watching the show over on Facebook, but she might not have a membership to watch on YouTube. I stopped in 3 months ago, and I thought I remember you said you were unemployed, but it must have been due. Yeah, it was due to me being sick. Yeah. If it was, well, I don't know, about 3 or 4 months ago. Yeah, I went back in mid-January, February, March, April, May, June, July. So now I've been back 6 months. So you've exaggerated the last time you stopped in. It would have been much longer than that. So, but David, you're welcome to help us out. We're $15 short of the $80 goal. I'm going to be here 3 more minutes to see if we can get that other $15. It ain't looking good, because we can't shame David into $15. We're trying. Let me check the corporate account and see if anybody was kind enough. I doubt it, because they would have mentioned it if they did. They would have mentioned it if they did. Hang on here. But I do thank Daniel Lemley and Randy Macho Man Sadly for trying to help us out. Let's check the corporate account out, because that's on another phone. I've got the regular PayPal account on one phone, and then I've got the corporate. Nope. Nothing there either. Oh, well. Yep, only Daniel Wimley has made that $20 donation on PayPal. And the other one went to the Venmo. TC, I'll send it once I get into Venmo. Got a new phone yesterday. Forgot my login info. We appreciate it, TC. So are you donate? Tell me how much you're donating, and then I'll see if we're going to keep continuing the show, because I should have left 2 minutes ago. Now that I checked the big ticker on the wall. But if you're going to donate at least 15, then I'll go ahead and stay, and then hopefully we'll find some other people with a good heart that'll help us out with these families. TC says he's good for the 15, so, and I trust the TC. Once he figures out his login info, he's trying to get that over on Venmo. So, so we have enough money to cover Eunice's medication for her mother. I'm going to cover the difference on getting the tablet repaired, which is not, so it'd be about $20. Doesn't sound like much, but you know, we've helped them out quite a bit over the years, and especially recently. And then, goddamn, she has a stroke once we finally get her shit together. Fortunately, her rent and internet is paid up for 3 months, but I'm sure they're still going to need food during that 3 months and transportation to get back and forth to school. But at least the rent. And what have we got here? You received. Somebody sent $12, it looks like. Let's see who that is or what that's from. Yeah, we got a $12 donation from. Yeah, okay, all right. From Bondo. Do you have Zelle? I do, Narnan. No, I do not. No, we had to cancel Zelle due to one troll on the show. So no, we don't have Zelle. You see every way that we have to donate here. We have PayPal. We've got our corporate PayPal. And we have Venmo, and we have Cash App. So I used to have Zelle through Chase, but I actually ended up even eliminating my Chase account, because after being with them for 23 years, they were wanting to charge me fees if I had under a $1,500 balance. Well, my investment account is through Fidelity, and they pay interest. Chase was not. So let's see. So TC from the NC just sent his $15. Thank you, TC. So we're up to 85. We're up to $97 total now. So Narn, you mean to tell me that you don't have Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal? Really? All right. All right. See where we're standing in Venmo now. I think I can check that on my iPhone. We're about to find out. So Narn, whenever you're ready to answer me, feel free. All right. Let's see if we can transfer that to where that needs to go. If that be's a thing. And I am waiting on my bonus check to come Tuesday. It was supposed to have been here Friday. Actually, it was supposed to have been here Wednesday, but they said, well, we have to do them on Fridays. They made that rule up recently. So then Friday came. Well, she was busy and she didn't get to process your bonus check. Yeah, we've all been busy. I'm the only one that gets their bonus check on the 15th. Then you asked me to wait till the 18th. So now I got to wait till Monday or Tuesday. What do you do? What do you do? Do I want to transfer? I don't want to transfer, do I? I don't think that's what I want to do. No, I want to add money. That's what I want to do. All right, hang on. Hang on. So, yeah, we're going to be here a little bit longer. Whenever Narn wants to answer me. But if all Narn has is Zelle, then I think Narn is trolling me because he knows we don't have Zelle. Because if we did, it would be up there on the right-hand side of the screen, would it not? Narn's trolling me. We get that a lot. God damn. What's the deal? Yeah, everything's moving a little slow here. Add money. There we go. That's what we want. Bear with me, folks. Bear with me. God damn. Is everybody just terrified to comment? Kenny, I for real have none of the things you mentioned. I have Zelle free with my bank. Oh, all right. Well, that certainly eliminates the ways you can do business in this country is only to have Zelle. You know, all those things are free, right? The Cash App and the Venmo and the PayPal, they're all free. And if you use them the right way, they don't even charge you fees to use them. So I'm just trying to help you, trying to give you more opportunities. And I've got Chime, but we haven't really seen the need for it. I've got Chime, I've got Venmo, I've got Charlie. I mean, I got a few ways, but these have normally been enough. And but no, we had one of our trolls that was fucking with us on Zelle, so we had to get rid of them. Let's see if this works. But thank you for the $10 donation. We appreciate it. We get that August the 21st, if we're lucky. August the 21st, if we're lucky. Let's see if that transfer works. There we go. Okay. All right. So, yeah, we are at $97. Is that where we're at? Yeah, because this money here we will not see till August the 21st. But we appreciate it, Narn. It is a nice gesture, and it will help us next month, 32 days from now. Well, it is, and it's one of the trolls that I mentioned earlier tonight is the reason that we do not carry Zelle anymore. But the donations were thin and far between on Zelle. I think maybe 2 people a month donated on Zelle. Everyone else uses Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal. So it cost us, and hell, maybe you were one of the ones. I don't know. But we were only getting 2 donations a month on Zelle anyway. So, and I said, well, if you want to help us, here's a lot of different ways. And the other people that were donating on Zelle, just send over that way. So 10:24 p.m. right now, I will go till at least 10:35 p.m. And I tell you what, if we make another $25, I'll stay even a little bit longer. Saturday night, we've been getting a lot of rain here in Louisville. There's been a lot of flooding going on. How many people want me to release the Memphis Files? Oh, boy. I got one Memphis wrestler right now that is furious at me for even talking about the Memphis Files. I'm a choir boy. No, you're not. Choir boys don't do that stuff. They do not. They do not. Now, the last person that said he was not a choir boy was Robert F. Kennedy. Robert F. Kennedy is the one that's in charge of the medical shit these days with absolutely no medical experience, no degrees, no nothing, no science, no doctrines, no nothing. But because he's an anti-vaxxer, Dickless put him in charge. Dickless being the one. Well, we can't call him Dickless because there's been some 14-year-old girls and 13-year-old girls that have come forward recently and mentioned he has a dick, it just ain't very big. And that is according to a 13-year-old girl and a 14-year-old girl that were recruited at Mar-a-Lago in the Jeffrey Epstein days. Caddies. 13, 14, and 15-year-old caddies. There was one girl that testified earlier today that, or not testified earlier today, but came forward about her experiences in Mar-a-Lago in those days. And she's in her, God, I guess her 40s now. And she said they closed down Mar-a-Lago once so that Trump and Epstein could have underage golf girls be the caddies and their masseuses after the event. And then a lot more pictures came out with Trump today with what appears to be very young underage girls with Jeffrey Epstein. And he keeps denying now. Paul RJ, well, that's a big help, buddy. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Let me check. It says we got a couple of donations that came through, so let me see if I can find those. I keep checking the iPhone. The iPhone moves a little slowly. iPhone's moving a lot slowly. Yes, Paul RJ has donated $15 over on PayPal. Thank you very much. $15 challenge. TC from the NC with a $15 challenge. $20 challenge from Daniel Limley. $45 challenge from Randy the Macho Man Sadly. Oh, yeah. Macho Man, when you back down this way. Recently found some. Well, I guess I could post some of these. I don't have my helper here tonight. Recently found some really cool wrestling programs. So that's going way back. 1951, 1952 for events in Bellingham, West Virginia. Didn't even know there was such a place. I did a few shows in West Virginia, but it was normally Wheeling. I actually did a Monday Night Raw in Wheeling with Cornette. The first night that Monday Night Raw used pyro, if memory serves me correctly, we were in Wheeling, and we were standing behind the Titantron just before the show was about to start. And Jimmy did not know that they were going to open the show with pyro. And the weird thing about the Titantron back then is that you could stand behind the Titantron and watch everything behind it that people see going on in front of it. It had a reverse image. Not a lot of people knew that. So me and Jimmy are standing there, Wheeling, West Virginia. This would have had to have been the late 90s or early 2000s. Well, you know what? It might have been earlier than that because Jimmy, in August of 1999, came to Ohio Valley Wrestling. I'd been there since 96. Jimmy came in 99. So it was probably 97 or before that we were in Wheeling, West Virginia. And we're standing behind the Titantron. And the pyro goes off. And Jimmy shit his pants. He lost it. And, I mean, it got my attention. I'm not going to tell you I wasn't a bit startled. But Jimmy, who oversells everything, I don't know if he was overselling this or not. It rattled his fucking cage that pyro went off. And we're standing. Somebody should have warned us, and they didn't. Probably as a rib. Somebody should have warned us the pyro was about to go. And we were in a safe distance that we weren't going to get caught on fire. But as far as for the sound, it was loud as fuck. And so that was my experiences of Wheeling, West Virginia at a Monday Night Raw. Probably 96 or 97, if I had to guess. And we did Wheeling, and we did one other city in West Virginia, but I can't remember. But I think Wheeling is the one that's right across the border. Am I correct on that, Narn? But love the West Virginia story, though. Appreciate your years in the wrestling business. Well, the great thing about it, and this is the reason that I should be a high-paid member of Sports Keto, is that I actually have experience with everybody that they talk about. I've was in on training and developing from the likes of John Cena to The Miz to Brock Lesnar to Randy Orton, Shad Gaspard when he was there, for people that like to hear those stories, Maurice, Mickey James, Bobby Lashley, Wade Barrett, the announcer now, doing such a great job, and Drew McIntyre. All those were now. I didn't have a lot to do with McIntyre. I was mainly doing commentary by that time. I managed Miz in a few matches. He also called me dad, along with Lance Cade. Lance Cade used to do that. Rico used to do that. And yeah, there's some other names. Mark Henry, the world's strongest man. Rico. Lance Cade. Sean O'Hare. So many of the people that I managed are not with us anymore. And it's hard to believe that I'm the one that's still here. I was looking at a picture the other day that had me, Lance Cade, Rene Dupree. Keep forgetting Rene Dupree's days there. And whatever his partner's name was, I keep forgetting. I managed him for a short period of time, but he and I didn't communicate a whole hell of a lot. It was mainly me and Rene, and then we trend. Sylvain Grenier, that's his name. Sylvain Grenier. So I managed him for a while, but I don't even know if he's in the wrestling business anymore. I have no idea. But I've got such a history with so many people, and so many that are still there. You want stories about Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Shelton Benjamin, who has gone elsewhere by now, Bobby Lashley, CM Punk. Fuck, I forgot CM Punk had all that. Drew McIntyre, Wade Barrett. I was in on all that. No one else over at Sportskeeda is or was. But due to my political views, and that I don't kiss anybody's ass in pro wrestling and cater to, well, you can't talk about this, fuck you. I'll talk about what I want, especially if it's true. And if I'm making up shit, I guess they get to sue me, don't they? Well, all right, we'll see how that goes. If there's one more from the OVW you could have sent up to the main roster. Oh, God. That never went to the main roster that I thought should have. Well, the Rosellis got a chance. The Rosellis were, I can't remember. I think they went by that name when they went up. They were over as fuck down here because Jimmy used that Memphis style of booking down here. And we could get guys over at a much higher level here sometimes than they would get in the WWE because they would not use the formula that we used and ruin some of the guys. Shelton Benjamin should have been a way bigger star than he ever was. They probably wouldn't have hurt to turn him heel and give him a manager or stick him with a babyface who can talk their ass off. Brock Lesnar was not known as a great promo. Never was, still isn't. Hence why he ended up with Paul Heyman. So, but yeah, I mean, I've got such a strong connection to so many. Me and Randy Orton text each other once or twice a week. I don't hear from Cena as much, but I do hear from John's dad all the time. I hear that a lot of people don't hear from Cena too much. That he's a little big for the game these days, according to some people. I don't know. Hell, his own father doesn't get to see him that much, maybe once or twice a year. And we're going to be having John Cena Sr. back on soon. But Disco Inferno Tuesday night, 9:05 p.m. members only. The title of the show: Ask Disco Anything. And there will be no Facebook at all that night. We're not going to have the freeloaders coming in trying to get their shit in. So Disco Inferno, and see, a lot of these guys that run their own podcasts, they don't give you an open forum. Dutch Mantel's podcast, does he do a live podcast where he takes questions? I don't think so. Jimmy Cornette doesn't do a live podcast where he takes questions. I do. And I used to try to be good to the freeloaders and give you all a shot. And then you abused it. You wouldn't get memberships. You wouldn't donate. You just come over here and take up space and troll. And we got sick of it. So that's why it's members only now. And it's going to stay that way. And if you care about the show and you like the input we've got and the experience that we've got, I did see Bagwell. I saw Maven making a big TV production out of it, going to drive. Now, why he drove 800 miles to go to Bagwell's house, when I know he's making damn good money and could have easily flew there, but it didn't make as good a television that this Maven didn't drive 800 miles to go to Buff Bagwell's house. Buff Bagwell's in the position he's in due to drunk driving. I am heavily critical of people that drunk drive. Dutch Mantel is too. Dutch Mantel lost a granddaughter due to drunk driving. So he's very critical of it as well. It was several years ago, many years ago. And You know, my stepdad used to drunk drive all the time with us in the car and not remember how the fuck he got home. Scary shit. So Maven's got a little bit more sympathy for Buff Bagwell than I have. You got to be fucking smart enough. If you want to drink, do it at fucking home. Do it in a hotel room. Get a fucking Uber or a taxi or whatever the case calls for, a bus, a train. Don't get Jimmy Cornette arrested for drunk driving in LaGrange. He fucking knew better. He had the money. He didn't have to fucking drive home drunk, but he did. Asked me to help him get him out of the ticket. I said, no. In LaGrange, Kentucky, you want me to get you out of a drunk driving ticket, knowing how I am about drunk drivers. Then apparently, according to some Memphis wrestlers I know, they said Jimmy claimed that never happened. I said, well, tell the mugshot that. But no, I am very, very firm against drunk drivers. Let's see here. Yeah, Paul RJ is the last donation that we've got. $15 challenge from Paul RJ. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. And let's see here. So I'll be here 10 more minutes. That'll take us to 10:46. We've already been here over an hour. So I'll give you guys an hour and 15 minutes. If you have any questions, if you're a member, because you are, or you wouldn't be here. And if you've donated tonight, but yeah, I did see the pictures of Bagwell's having his leg amputated. Now, obviously, I feel horrible for him for that. I don't know if anybody else was injured in the drunk driving accident. I know Bagwell lost his job in wrestling because of that at that time. Buff the Stuff, I think they call him. Yeah, Buff had a great look. And I think was way more over in WCW. Did he come to the WWE for a while? I think he did. But no, I have Maven's got way more sympathy for him than I do. I would have not have driven 800 miles across the country in my car with a camera crew to go film him having his leg amputated, and have a pity party for a guy that was drunk driving and could have killed some people, including himself. That is not a pity party that I have. Yeah, I know. It's like I said, my criticism of Maven for doing that is making a TV production out of it. He could have been there just to support him without a TV crew. But that's not good television, is it? That's not good television. And he's got a cameraman with him to film him over his 800-mile trip to go there. Well, that's not as entertaining on an airplane, I guess. Plus, I doubt they're going to let you bring a film crew on a passenger flight to fly to Buff Bagwell's house. And so his pity level is way higher than mine. I don't have much pity for drunk drivers, including my former best friend who fucking knew better. All of you know better. Guys, I have had eggnog, knowing full fucking well I'm not drunk. Knowing full fucking well, probably if I blew a breathalyzer, nothing would register. But if I take a few sips of eggnog, I will not get behind the wheel of a car. Because if I get pulled over and anything comes up on a breathalyzer, Kenny Bolin pulled over for drunk driving. Holy fucking shit. I would never goddamn hear the end of it. I've never been drunk a day in my life. There's people that don't think that's possible. I've gone to conventions and drinking 10 screwdrivers, 10 Bloody Marys, and what was the other thing I had? Banana Banshees, my favorite drink in the whole world. I have drank those till the fucking cows come home. And never been. Now, for those of you out there that drink all the time and get drunk a lot, maybe you got the sympathy. But if you're getting behind the wheel of a car, I got no fucking use for you. Because you're a fucking idiot. And I'll tell you that now. And I don't give a fuck if you donate $300 a month to this show, and you do not. If you're driving drunk, risking other people's lives, not to mention your own family, if you got your family in a car with you, what about other people's families? It's reaction time, guys, and it doesn't take much to fuck with that. And I'm about to put cell phones in that same category. I'm getting sick and tired of riding with people that are looking at their fucking phones while their hands are on the goddamn wheels of the car. That irks the shit out of me, too. That's worse than drunk driving, really. But a lot of people get by. I guarantee you a lot of the accidents that happened today are because some dumb motherfucker was looking at his phone instead of driving his goddamn car. If I ever am in a wreck, it won't be because I was looking at my phone when it happened. It's a horrible fucking... Phones have done a lot to hurt this country. Yeah, they've done a lot to help it. They've done a lot to hurt it too. I was sitting out here on my porch the other day just watching people go by. I'm a people watcher. It was I applaud, you know what I do? I applaud certain people that go by. And they look at me, I said, I'm applauding you because you're one of the people who's out actually enjoying nature. You're seeing the wind blow, you're seeing the sunshine, you're seeing the rainfall, and you don't have your head buried into a fucking phone while you're walking, not seeing 2 feet in front of you. 90% of the people that walk the Cherokee Triangle have their phone buried in their face, or they got their headphones on and they're not hearing a fucking thing going on. I'll speak to them and wave to them, but they don't know because their face is either in the phone or they got their headphones up full blast, or they're talking to somebody on their speakerphone as they're walking down the sidewalk like we want to hear the conversation. So the cell phone drivers, to me, are just as bad as the drunk drivers. Well, I don't know if just as, but it's close. It's close. You're a very distracted driver, and the other one heavily affects your reaction time. I've ridden with both. They're both fucking dangerous as shit. You don't know how many times I've been lucky that we haven't had rear-end collisions because the dumb fuck driving the car had his head buried in his fucking cell phone. I've literally had to take cell phones from people, say, hey, you can have it back when we get to where we're fucking going. My life is in your hands right now. And I've done that more than once. They only get one time to nearly fucking kill us before I take their fucking phone. So don't drive me somewhere if you can't get your fucking face out of your fucking phone while you're driving your fucking car. Thought I would end on a good note tonight. I have Apple CarPlay in my car. Well, so do I. I don't even allow my phone, if I get a call, it goes, well, that's what it should do. That's what it should do. Now, if you have to take a call, sometimes you do. Pull over. Pull the fuck over. And even if you need to listen to it through your speakerphone, if you're going to have a long, engaged conversation, you know, that's going to require you not to focus on the road and the people in front of you, then fucking pull over. But if it's a quick, hey, I'm on my way, I'll be there in 15 minutes. I'm at the mall. I'm all right. You know, I'm safe. Don't worry about me. All right, goodbye. All right. That's fine. And I guess even on a handheld phone, as long as you're keeping your eyes on the fucking road. But it's amazing how many people don't. But yeah, I've got Apple CarPlay too. Harley used to drink. Oh, a lot of the wrestlers do. A lot of them do. And shame on fucking Hippo Harley, as they used to call him. Shame on him too. Fuck them all. Fuck them all. If you're that fucking stupid, I got no pity. I got no sympathy whatsoever for you. So where Maven's sympathy comes from, I don't know. I'm amazed that he knew Buff Bagwell that well. I'm blown away. But my criticism is that Maven made a TV production out of it. Instead of being a friend, I mean, trust me, if me and Jim Cornette were still friends, and I made a big-ass fucking TV production out of Jimmy's leg being amputated due to him being in a drunk driving accident, I think the shame is on me for doing that. And I don't think Jimmy would be real happy about it either. But Buff was all in on it. And maybe he thought it would get him some sympathy money. I don't know. I don't know what the motivation was behind it. I like Maven. Maven was here with me at OVW. I liked him. Class kid. Still seems to be. But the podcast career, sometimes you jeopardize your morals and your judgment in the sake of ratings. And I won't do that here. You will always know exactly where I stand and how I feel, be it good or bad. And you don't have to agree with me. Doesn't have to be that way. And just don't be a fucking troll, and I don't care what your opinion is. But if you're going to come over here and be a troll, you're going to go away. But you're welcome to give your opinion. I don't think any of you are stupid enough to try to argue, well, I think I can drink and drive. No, you can't, motherfucker. I can bury my head, and because I've never had an accident, I can talk on my phone and drive. Well, just because it ain't never happened, because my stepdad, I don't know that he ever had a car wreck while drunk driving. He should have been in 30. Minimal. My stepdad should have been in at least 30 fucking major car accidents. When you get home and go to bed and wake up and you don't remember how you got home, You're shocked your car's in the driveway because you thought somebody else brought you home. That's fucked up. So just because you've been lucky don't mean you're good. So, all right. Let's see, 10:45, guys. And I think the last donation has come in. So if any of the rest of you are watching the show, our regulars like the Edge Copelands and the Jeff Sanford, I don't know where Jeff was tonight. He normally always watches. Was it late at night? Well, yeah, or early in the morning, technically. He'd get home about fucking 3:30 in the morning and not remember how he got there. But the show's over, guys. We've done all we can do here tonight. I want to thank everybody that helped us out. We did 1 hour and 10 minutes tonight. And thanks all of you for that were kind enough to help out. Wasn't many of you, but for those that did, I really appreciate it. The star of the game tonight was Randy the Macho Man Satterley with a $45 donation. Thank you. David did $10 that we'll get in August, but hey, every little bit helps, and in August we'll appreciate that. And Paul RJ with $15. Let me see if I can run these up again real quick, and then we'll thank our sponsors real quick. $12 donation from Bondo, $20 from Daniel Lemley, $45 from Randy the Macho Man Satterley. The Venmo donations were TC from the NC, and of course Randy the Macho Man Satterley. And then $15 from Paul RJ. So I thank all of you very much. Very kind of you. If you're watching this show late, we could still probably desperately use another $100 to help these families that are going through some tough times, especially Cheney's family, for rice, electric, water. We've already got them some food. Well, I want to say me. In Aussie dollars, that's 2,000. Okay. I don't track the Aussie dollars that often. But I'll be back here Tuesday night for the special disco. That'll be just me and Disco probably. Bob won't be here because he don't like disco. Coltrane, I don't know. Coltrane may or may not be here. Not sure. He'll probably drop by. I don't know. We'll see. But Bob will be participating in Nerd Night because he wants to have fun. Bob better be getting those bangs trimmed. That sheepdog look. You know, that hair down past your fucking nose. Well, Kenny, I don't wear bangs. Well, you should. By the way, my hair. Oh, the point I was going to make. Look at the beginning of this show tonight. Look at the hair that I had in 1987. Look at the hair that I have now. I will not be Never mind. I was going to take a cheap shot at somebody, but I'm not going to do it. I'm better than that. But this hair ain't too far fucking off of what 1987, including the bangs. Check out the 1987 video with Nick Goulas. Check out that hair. This ain't far off. Freshly washed with a Neutrogena dandruff shampoo. One of the few things I've never gotten over is that if I don't wash my hair for 2 or 3 days, I get a bit of that dandruff itch. And Neutrogena is very helpful. I will do it. Thank you, Narn, for dropping in. And David Martinez, welcome back. For those of you that aren't getting the notifications, unclick the notification bell, re-click it, and then click all notifications. And from those of you that have told me that, you're getting the notifications. If you friend me on Facebook Messenger, I'll send you a link to every show. For everybody that donates on the show, I make sure you get a link so you ain't got no fucking excuses. I don't know what happened to Jeff Sanford tonight and Sydney and a few others. I thought for sure on a late Saturday night, they would have dropped in and visited us and tried to be of some help with us tonight. But maybe later, maybe they'll surprise us. And Good Chris, we have not heard from. It'll be 2 months on the 29th. So I wrote him again and said, hey, Good Chris, if you're out there, drop in and say hi. So I don't know if something has happened. I told him, I said, don't even worry about donating. Just let us know that you're okay for Good Chris. So, I don't know. We might hear from him eventually. I mean, I've done all I can do. I wrote him on PayPal. That's the only way I have to reach him. And I flat out told him, if you ain't got the money to donate, don't worry about it. Just let us know that you're okay. So, 1 hour and 15 minutes tonight, guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate you tuning in. Until Tuesday night at 9:05 p.m. with the Disco Inferno show titled Ask Disco Anything. And we'll see if he'll answer it. But until Tuesday night, I'm Kenny the Starmaker Bolin, and I did say a good day.